What's up, y'all? We back for another one. Tonight is gonna be Real Housewives of New York, season 14, episode 4 and 5. I'm gonna go ahead and smash them together. I didn't do New York last week. So they still at the Hamptons, episode 4. Before we get into that, please like the video and subscribe to my channel. I sure would appreciate it. We still at the Hamptons. So the ladies wake up and uh, Erin like don't need to host nothing. She's sitting around chilling like she's one of the guests. Like to get again, ain't no bagels, ain't no oranges, no bananas. Uber done told y'all she likes bananas. So that Erin, that was real easy. No fruit, no nothing. She's sitting up there chilling, talking. She's still in her feelings about what is she in her feelings about, child? Um, I can't remember because Erin tends to be in her feelings about things. She in her feelings probably Jessel. I think she was irritated with Jessel because apparently Jessel is a whiner. We didn't see a whole lot of that in this episode though. So finally we get to Shashuka. So, Sai like to eat. And I feel like, Sai is the kind of person who, when you invite her somewhere, and I feel like a lot of us are that way because I'm that way too. Like, if you're not going to have no food, like, then I'm going to need to make plans to at least leave early for I can go eat, or, sit down and eat something like actual food before I get there. You're that girl. I don't know where in the planet of anywhere that somebody is only serving potato chips and caviar. Like, what if you don't like that? And now you're ass out. Because I don't feel like after maybe one or two of those, I'll let you know. I'm not a caviar fan, but I am a potato chip fan. But like after a couple few of those, like, I need to eat. So, shushuka. We finally get shushuka. Uba brings her seasonings that were, by the way, featured on, Oprah and her favorite things. But she has some kind of sauce seasoning, and I'm here for it. She's African, and I'm not real familiar with some of the flavors and, ingredients used in African food. So I'll be down to put some of her, sauce seasoning. It's like it's a seasoning sauce kind of thing that, you kind of spoon out of the jar. Anyway, shashuka, it looks like lasagna with eggs on it. Like it's a lot of tomatoes and cheese and sauce and um the black girls was asking for salt, but there's nothing surprising about that because we tend to like our seasoning. But good thing, Uber did provide a little some extra just in case, one spicy one night, just in case. And you got to be careful about that because Erin gets in her feelings really easy. And, if you don't like her shashuka, she's going to be talking about it for the next year and a half about how you insulted her shashuka. So, Sai was smart enough not to say that like in the moment, but like I said, it looked like it might taste good, but I don't really like eggs in my food. Like I'm not a breakfast person, so just because you throw an egg on it for me doesn't make it breakfast. But coffee and shashuka, I don't know how my stomach would, receive that. And then you want to top it with Uber's spicy stuff. We know what shashuka is now though, so that's cool. Um, then they start talking about Thanksgiving, like everybody is clearly holiday time. Or approaching. I don't know. Like they said it was off season, but I feel like I'm guessing since they're talking about Thanksgiving, it has to be somewhere around October. And I would imagine like leaves right and right timing is probably really pretty up there and less crowded. So I could see where if you bring your own party and just want to enjoy the chill of it all, you know, it seemed like a good time to go. I like the fall because I live in Florida, so I don't really get to see the leaves change. I'm from Michigan, however, so I can appreciate like how beautiful that whole season is. I'm just saying. Anyway, Brenda's not a big fan of Thanksgiving because of the way she was raised, because of her upbringing. I feel like when you have a fucked up family situation, when you have a messed up family situation, um holidays, especially the holidays like Thanksgiving and Christmas, are people are either very much in the spirit or very much the opposite. There's no real medium. I tend to be, listen, I tend to be fine with the relaxation of it all. If I can get some time and peace to myself, because at my job, it's going to be busy season. And you've probably been invited to a couple of few different things that you didn't necessarily want to go to, but felt obligated to go to because it's the season. It's a lot of pressure in the season. So, you know, for Bryn, it's not a big family thing because, like I said, her situation was not great. Um, she says she usually goes to London like with an ex-fiance. I don't know how many fiancés she had, a couple few, two or three, I don't know, but if he's your ex-fiance, I don't know. I guess, child, that's what she does. She'll fly to London, but to me, like, if that's your gig, that's your gig. You know, if you got somebody that, you know, maybe y'all didn't want to get married together, but you found out that you still like each other. And if he don't have a new girlfriend, like, why not just, you know, go hang out and eat turkey with your good old friend? You know, sounds like a plan. So we get back to New York. You know, thank you for the weekend, Miss Erin, but you are a sucky host. Period. Aside from the beautiful home that seemingly was very cold because they was walking around inside the house with sweaters and shit on. So it wasn't giving cozy, Erin. Anyway, um, Erin's family, like she grew up. So again, like these are all new people. I do appreciate like how they're giving us like spoon feeding us a little bit about the ladies. Like I said, we're into episode 4 and 5. We got a little bit of Jenna's background because she's fabulous, and we should have started with Jenna most definitely. They're like giving us a little Uba at a time. I don't know how she connects with these girls though, because maybe because she's a model and they, you know, they do have that influencer thing going on. Um, yeah, so we're getting to know them and little bits at a time. Erin came from a family of real estate people, so she clearly grew up quite wealthy based on the names that she was dropping that her parents used to like, you know, do business with back in the day. So, you know, I feel like, I mean, you know, that's cool. I think that's a lot of what New York is about, different people from different backgrounds, like, you know, somehow finding themselves in the same social circle because it's very much about networking and that kind of thing. If you're a real estate person, you best to be networking. But she works for Frederick, who, you know, is from Million Dollar Listing, the Swedish guy. I watched Million Dollar Listing. That was one of my favorites. So that's cool. Like, and he's very much on a high level of real estate in New York City. So she about her business if she working for Frederick. So if it's anything positive I can say about Erin, who happens to get on my nerves, um, yeah, she's about her business. She has this cool business that she's gotten off of being part of the real estate business. She says she likes the kind of construction portion of things, and her business is called Homegirl. Okay, this is where she comes in and raises the value of the property because she knows, you know, the construction and the design, you know. So very dope, very dope. Cool job, girl. Um, it reminds me of Jeff Lewis a little bit, how he, you know, started out in real estate and then he, you know, had to figure out how to do something different. Um, you have to have a really good eye though for interior design. I don't think everybody is cut out for that. So Bryn goes to visit the salon, and I did not know that Bryn was a biracial child. She appears in this world as a white woman with a whole lot of hair. When she was over to the beauty salon, um, you know, you got to see her hair in its natural texture. It is a whole lot of it. It's a beautiful head of hair. Um, I want her stylist to get a cape for her clients. You know what? I wonder if, like, because this is just a thing with hairstylists on TV. They have them doing weird stuff. Like, obviously, Miss Bryn gonna need some heat up on them waves if she's gonna walk around, with straight hair. So, but I guess in reality, you wouldn't be able to hear what they're saying with the blow dryer on, because I have soft-spoken clients that like to talk when I turn the blow dryer on, and I try to get away with just saying, because otherwise I'd have to keep stopping, and that's annoying. But she talked about how her parents were a mess, okay, and she was raised by her white grandmother, who, you know, I know not a whole lot about her grandmother except that she raised her. Um, the challenge in itself of having a child that is clearly troubled, she doesn't say directly, but I'm gonna go ahead and say probably dealing with drugs. Her father was Black, her mother was white. They off getting in trouble and all kind of foolishness, and now her mother, who's white, has to take care of 3 biracial children. Clearly this woman loves her grandchildren because she took them all in. Not 1, not 2, but 3. So as a person who has already raised your children to now have to take on babies, that in itself is, a challenge. However, these are biracial children, so small things like how to comb their hair comes into play, and that's not something that everybody knows how to do, especially if the hair texture is like that of Miss Bryn, because it's a whole lot of hair, like a whole lot of it. Anyway, somebody at her work told her, please, here's my stylist name and number, and go ahead and take the kids over to the salon, which ended up being a thing that connected her with her culture, and I'm super proud to be a part of that culture. For those of us that were raised in the culture, and I don't mean like as a stylist, I mean as a stylist, a receptionist, as a client. It's a community of friendship and bonding and that kind of thing. And so I think, what a blessing that these people came into her life to like put her in touch with her culture and it be a positive thing, you know. So yeah, shout out to the ladies in the industry that shared that part of Bryn with her, made her proud. Um, to some extent, I suppose. Now she did say that she grew up embarrassed to be Black. And so I guess like being a part of that community, like changed that around for her to some extent because, listen, she's not Black, she's biracial. And that has to be a challenge to always be trying to figure out which race you're supposed to be loyal to, especially with all the tension, I guess, for lack of a better word, with all the tension between the races right now in this country, it has to be like a challenge, like especially when your mother is white, because generally you raised with your mother. So, that's a whole nother subject. But, I'm not gonna fault her for saying that she was embarrassed because she was raised with white people. And, here she is, this kid with big old bushy hair that they don't know what to do with. Like that's probably like her first experience of feeling like pretty and proud and all of that. So, again, I think what an interesting girl. Uba meets up with her business partner. So I guess she's like trying to figure out like what next. I got this sauce. It was featured on Oprah. I gotta ride this wave. She also has been given this opportunity to be on this Housewives platform. I don't see no husband. I see her African model in New York trying to do her thing. I also feel like, I don't know, I can't remember what part of Africa she's from, but um I feel like there was money involved because that's how she carries herself. Like she don't act like new money. She act like she left over there to come over here to be a beautiful model, to live that exotic life. And now she has a business that she's trying to, get off the ground. That ain't an easy task, but she does have a business consultant, so that's definitely a first step. And based on the social circle that she's working in, she probably is, on the right track. So we find out that she lost her mother and how challenging that is for a young woman to um, be out here in New York by herself without her mother to even be able to pick up the phone and say, what should I do? And I think, so she has to trust that this lady is going to guide her in the right direction. This lady seemed like she'd been around for a minute, and so we'll see, Uba. Go with your instincts. Go with your instincts and gather all the information that you can before you take the next step. She says she's having challenges taking money from investors, and I get that because you feel like, am I gonna lose complete control? That's why you just have to educate yourself, girl. Before you make any decisions, get all the information that you can before you move to the next step. And yeah, that's all you can do. That's scary though, I bet. That's pretty much all they gave, on her personal life. But you get to know a little bit. Like I said, this episode was a little bit of get to know, some of them a little bit deeper. Because when you're not invested in people and then the stuff they be going through, you're like, I don't even know this lady. All of a sudden, we're having this whole tragic situation go down. So we're getting to know the personalities. We found out last week or episode or so ago that Sai and Bryn have a similar background in terms of having a rough upbringing. So Sai wants to plan a Friendsgiving for Bryn so that Bryn can host her own, fabulous Thanksgiving. All the girls get together, all the families get together and, have a good holiday dinner, especially since she's probably still gonna go to London and hang out with her boy because that's what they do. But it's one of those holiday parties where you get with the people like your extended family. So money is not their issue, but you often need people like Uber who can go to somebody, one of these girls in the group that she trusts to say, hey, before I make this decision, what do you think? So, there's that. Anyway, she calls Bryn, to tell her idea. They start talking about Jessel not having sex. I mean, I guess, child, Sai's husband was like, they got 2 kids and maybe y'all just, I mean, he was trying to be nice. I feel like over a year is a long ass time when you have a husband. So yeah, there's more to that story. That's all I mean, how tired are you, for God's sakes? Somebody got to relieve the stress of having those 2 twins running around there driving people crazy. But hey, Jessel and her husband are talking. Jessel's kind of telling him, like, I guess how they got mad at her for calling that dress an ugly Christmas tree and how she, presents herself. And he said, pretty much like you do need to probably be careful how you say things to people. He knows her, he's used to it, so it's not that big of a deal. They talking about schools for their children. She is definitely a part of that young New York mom who got to get your kids on this list and that list, and for they can be in the right places with. And I get it, I suppose. He's like, how come they can't just go to public school and be normal? So it's funny because her husband seems very regular, and personality. Like, we don't know how he was raised. We don't know how she was raised. Apparently the girl's thinking she giving off some princess energy and she, doesn't see it. I think I guess I've been around people like her before. I think she probably can be a downer, always complaining, but I feel like if you tell her in the moment to shut the hell up and stop whining, she probably would receive that rather than like you got to hit her the way she hit you. I think she probably would receive that. I think she doesn't like though that y'all keep having these little conversations with the whole group and then, tell her later. I'm not that annoyed by Jessel. I'm more annoyed by Aaron. Um, these girls need to realize that people don't always want to be bothered with you. And just because they want to go somewhere different doesn't mean they don't want to go home to their house, Bryn, but we'll get to that. So Jenna goes to visit Aaron and they're chit-chatting and Aaron definitely wants to be attached to Jenna. Understandably so, because she's kind of fabulous. Not kind of, she's absolutely fabulous. And she's quirky and she's interesting. So, but she definitely wants to align herself with Jenna. So she comes out of her kitchen with this coffee cup shaped like a titty. And she thought that Jenna would love it because she happens to be gay. And so she's like, all you gotta do is like, hold it like this. Like, so you want me to pour hot coffee on my face because I'm trying to like suck on a titty cup. And so Jenna's like, well, actually, what you should probably do is put creamer in it and then pour it into the coffee. Now dump the freaking mug on my face. And I'm not gonna sit around and drink it out of a titty nipple cup when I'm trying to have my morning cup of coffee. Anyway, she could put together a good old house, but don't let her buy you dishes because she doesn't know what to do with them. Which is probably because she don't spend a lot of time in the kitchen, which also means this explains why she doesn't ever have food at her events. Because she's not a kitchen person or a food person or a coffee person. So what's the name? They're talking about the Hamptons and how people were acting and blah blah blah. And she, they got on Jessel. They got on Jessel because they said, how rude she talks or what have you. And Jenna said, yeah, we were talking, and she said, she called us a bunch of cackling hags, which Aaron then takes to heart, like she said, a horrible thing. And in the midst of all that, y'all was some cackling hags. Like she was in her feelings. Like, this is not a thing, Aaron. It's gonna be okay. And Jenna really, I think she thought she was just, sharing and not knowing that Jenna was gonna be that much bothered by it because she got where she was coming from. And I did too. Like, yeah, Aaron, she's a lot. So it's time for Friendsgiving. Sai has a chef. This is what you do. You have food prepared for people when they come into your house. You got a little snacks like, hors d'oeuvre situation, and then you have the big meal. So there's a variety of things. We're not just eating one meal with, champagne and eggs and stuff. So anyway, she does have a requirement that you take your shoes off, and she did acknowledge and have them, sent it to them in a group text. So they did know that when they bring their stuff over to your house, you're gonna have to take the shoes off. I mean, nobody had a problem with it but Aaron, but bring yourself some little, what you call them things, isotoners. I would be happy to take my fly ass boots off and walk around in isotoners in your house and then put them back on when I go outside. I don't think that's a big deal. So anyway, Jessel gets there. Aaron already got an attitude because she's still mad because this lady called them cackling hags. So when Aaron gets there, they're kind of standing around and she's in a funk because she said, that she was just left her grandmother's memorial. Now, I get why she came. You know what I'm saying? And I get why her energy was low. So there's this really awkward conversation between her and Jessel. Jessel did not know, first of all, that her grandmother passed away. So I feel like I've had people like say stuff to me while I'm in the process of getting ready to do your hair. So you're going to be here with me for the next at least hour, right? And then you throw something out there and say somebody died, and then I have to now switch gears and come down here, and there's never any right thing to say. You know what I'm saying? Especially when you didn't know. Like if you heard and then the person's coming, you kind of prepare and lean into their energy. If they just throw that on you, like I've had people say stuff like that to me and I did not know them, just walked in the door, get them to the shampoo bowl and they tell me something like that. And I'm like, whoa, lady. So you have to, it's awkward and you have to figure out, well, what's the next thing that's going to come out of my mouth that's not going to sound stupid? Because, you know what I mean? And I think that's what Jessel was feeling. She said, I didn't know. I'm sorry to hear that. And then she said something like, well, aside from that, how did the day go? Okay. Like to me, again, it was just one of those awkward things, and not like the worst thing, that you could have said. Like aside from that, yeah, it was a beautiful ceremony, blah, blah, blah. But no, Erin wanted to be all in her feelings talking about my grandmother died. What do you think the day went like? Like she just has a thing for Jessel. And I think it's just because, I guess you don't like how she talked to you. So you got to get it in the moment, I suppose. I don't know. I'm waiting to find out. Like I haven't seen it and they're hiding it. They did show us a little clip of her, in the car whining about things. And like I said, they should have told her to shut up then. Like, girl, you are bringing down the energy. Shut the fuck up. See how she responds to that. So you can move on, because all of this being in your feelings about the silly stuff, you didn't even buy her the gown. If Jenna's not mad, then what are you mad for? And you talk about how she didn't appreciate your house. Well, girl, it was cold and it wasn't no food. It was pretty, but there was no food there and it was cold. I don't know what you want me to say. If I'm cold today and cold tomorrow, I'm probably gonna keep saying I'm fucking cold in here. That's what you do when you're cold or you're hot. Anyway, Jenna tried to talk her down, but So they're sitting at the table at Friendsgiving and they want Brand to share. I guess this seems like, she doesn't want to. I get why she doesn't want to, but on the other hand, like, let them know what you're feeling like, and get that shit out, because it is a new friend group. I don't know. I don't know that I would want to tell that story right then, because it is emotional. But, she shared with them, the drama between her parents and, stories about how she got left behind. Like they were out there. That's why I said they were acting like people who do drugs and get in trouble. Like I guess he was out doing crimes and the mama was doing drugs and the kids got taken away. So, but look at how her life is now. Like, she didn't turn things around. She's not hungry. She's also, now I see why it's so important to her to be friends with Aaron. There's something in Aaron that she's admiring, and it's making her annoying too, like being worried about stuff that don't need to be worried about. I feel like you should be tougher skinned than that, but I'm not you, so I guess. But it seems like somebody who went through what you went through wouldn't get so bent out of shape about things that you get bent out of shape about. But it also feels like it's all about acceptance from Aaron. You see Aaron as I don't know, you have an admiration for Aaron. I don't get it. Anyway, so episode 5, we done before. Episode 5, picks up with her still discussing her family drama. She said she was able to reconnect with her father, but then he, was sick. And so they, they had a good relationship, I suppose, for the time they had. And then he passed away around Thanksgiving. So that makes her very emotional. So it's just layers to the shit. Um, so, they kind of get out of that funk. No, Jessel announces that she has a cocktail party coming up Thursday. And she invited the ladies over. Jenna was like, I probably got a thing. I'll let you know. She asked Aaron, was she coming? And Aaron said something stupid like, yeah, it's better than being called cackling hags. Like, see, that's what I'm talking about. Like, are you really still mad about her saying cackling hags? She said that because she was mad. Like, come on. That's when then she brings up like how Justin was complaining in the Hamptons and stuff. And like I said, say something in. Why are we talking about it now? It's Friendsgiving. Um, she does have Bryn like caping for her in the background. Brenda was like, just stand on what you said. But I feel like Jessel also tries very hard to fit in. She's again like an outsider in this world we live in. I mean, New York is a melting pot, that much is for sure. But she definitely leans into, she's British, so there's that culture. But she also leans into behaving like wealthy people behave. But when you see her social circle, I'm not surprised. She's also in the fashion industry, like she's a fashion editor. So she hoity-toity shit. Not a bad thing, but she, it's hoity-toity shit. And hell, I would suppose Aaron should be used to that. Anyway, um, what else happened? Bryn asked this lady, when is the last time you came? I want you to stop, Bryn. None of your damn business. Why are you saying that? And if somebody said to you like that they haven't had sex in a year, she should have never said that. Girl, you should have never said that. But I mean, that's stressful. So you see her like not feeling good about her body because she just like, well, Brenda don't have no kids. I have had three. I've never had more than one at a time inside my body. So she has been stressed out from not one but two babies. So, there's postpartum that sometimes comes along with having children. There is that whole pressure to be able to fall back into your workspace and be a mom, not of one baby, but two. Her husband is very laid back. So I don't know how laid back he is, but she seems to also be like very much OCD about being clean. So, I'm just like putting myself in her shoes. I don't feel like her not having sex is like, something that she wants to discuss at a dinner table with all of y'all. And what a rude question. Brandon, when was the last time you came? Like, none of your damn business. Brand, these are things like, had you like been paying attention at the beauty salon, that they would have told you don't ask those kind of questions lest you get cussed out. Jessel and Aaron meet up at this little restaurant because I guess they felt like they needed to clear the air for whatever tension they got going on between them. And so they have a little meetup to clear the air, I suppose. And so Jessel sits down and says, this is an up and coming area. Well, she's in Tribeca. I don't know why she said that. I don't live in New York. I don't even go to New York, but I do know Tribeca has been, it's up. I don't think it's up and coming. I think it's already up. Again, I don't know why she says those type of things, maybe it's because she's trying to fit in. You know what I mean? Because or it's just like it's or she's just uncomfortable and she's just nervous, making up nervous chatter, and that's what came out. I wouldn't have read so much into it, but Aaron was like, "Oh my God, this is Tribeca." Okay, girl. Again, I didn't find that to be. You could have said, "Up and coming, girl. We up," and left it at that. You the home girl. You got the home girl company. If you ain't gonna be a home girl, then I don't know what you're gonna do. Maybe you should call it something else. But I'm just saying, all you had to say is Tribeca's girl. Stop. That would have probably eased the conversation a little bit, but she's beating her feelings about nonsense. She said, Jessel said, Jessel said she did not know about her grandmother and that she wanted to check on her. For some reason, Erin was thrown off because she thought she was coming there to apologize to her. So she said, I just think like we're different people, obviously. And the way you communicate is very much different. They flash back to her in the ugly gown and talking about the house being cold. And these are not wrong things. Like both of those things were absolutely true. Aaron says something like you act like you're used to people catering to you. And Jessel said, are you calling me a princess? And she was like, I don't know if that's how that's how you present yourself or something. I'm paraphrasing at this point, but I feel like Jessel didn't receive being called a princess well because Aaron did not mean it as in compliment. Like she meant it in a negative way. I feel like Aaron is a princess. Maybe that's the issue, that you got two princesses over here like battling for the throne. And Jenna don't give a shit because she's the real princess. Bryn wants to be attached to Aaron, and I think it's because of the way Aaron appears in this world. And Bryn has a thing with brown skin versus light white skin, so that's why Aaron is her girl. I'm gonna just go ahead and say it. She got some issues because she appears in this world as a white woman. I did not know she was biracial. Maybe I would have had I seen her hair texture in person, and I would have been like, okay, but that's not something that's not something I was getting from her until, I saw her at the beauty salon. Jessel told this lady she don't have time for fake friends, and then she bounced. And I mean, I get it. Like, okay, if we're not jiving with each other, we just don't jive with each other. But I'm not gonna sit up here and like try to make myself be your friend. You know what I'm saying? So she bounced, and that's how that went. We get a little clip of Jenna going through her clothes, her iCar. We get a little glimpse of Jenna going through her archive of fashions and what she's gonna keep and what she's gonna give away. I mean, to live the life, I can't imagine. Bryn and Sai meet up. They were at this little spot where they playing chess. It was cute. They start discussing Jessel. Dang, they keep Jessel on their mouth. They keep Jessel's name in their mouth. It's not Sai so much. Sai is very much go along to get along. Sai talks shit with whoever she's sitting there with, and she won't say what's really on her mind, but she does make a lot of faces that says what's really on her mind. But I don't know. Like, I don't know if Sai is that friend that will have your back when you're not there. I'm just saying. Seemed like she'd just go ahead and cackle with the rest of the hags, and then, keep my name out of it. That's what I'm getting. She gonna have to show me something different. So they're at the place talking about, Jessel and how she was acting at the Hamptons. Like I said, they've been talking about Jessel this whole time. And then Erin shows up, and the first thing she tells them is how she said Tribeca's up and coming. And they're like, really? What's wrong with her? Like, very snooty. And that's probably this type of attitude that she's used to dealing with. I mean, it was a silly statement. It wasn't nothing. No, I would it's just the way she brought it. Like, this is just another reason like not to like her. It's just the way she brought it to the girls. That she did like they all do, telling her version of the story. Her version of the story was kind of not exactly how things went, but then Brent, jump right in there and have her back. Brent, you weren't there. You don't even get yourself in it. But she in it. She's team Aaron. Even though Aaron be sunning her, which is funny to me a little bit. They just feel like she doesn't take accountability. I don't know what that means, girl. It's because you want her to say sorry for something she's not sorry for. That thing was ugly. Like, okay, Jessel, next time, don't tell them the thing is ugly. Just say it in your head. Because that was the right thing to do. Like, I would have not said this thing is ugly. As many times as her. But like, if I put something on and it makes me not feel good about myself, I probably would have said, I don't know, this one is not for me, but I'm gonna wear something different. I'm just saying. Y'all are hard on her for something that doesn't make sense. So I've yet to see why we don't like Jessel. I'm clear on why Erin gets on my nerves, though. I'm not gonna say I don't like her, but she's irritating as hell. It's the day of Jessel's event. They're all like, it's a fashion thing. But it was kind of like, I don't know, like showed up. It was kind of last minute. Like she did say Thursday and they came through, but not really. Jenna didn't come, but she told her in the first place that she might have had a thing she didn't know. Her thing was she got her kids, her godchildren, her children, I don't know, but she's got her family over at the house and they're decorating a Christmas tree. She used the word event. They upset because she just didn't say, I got the kids coming over. Y'all, she didn't have to say anything. She called it an event because that's what it is. It's an event. Every year you have this event at your house where you pull the Christmas tree out the garage and you pour yourself a glass of wine and you point to where the kids need to hang the thing. That's the event. I don't know why it's an issue. She could call it what she want to call it. She did not want to say, I'm hanging, ornaments with the kids. She said it's an event. They had jumpsuits with their names on the back. Like, it was kind of an event. I'm just saying. Jeez. They was still having that hot chocolate and just on side talking, she was talking about, how she, they call her a princess. That's not an insult. Yeah, it is, Sai. If it's a backhanded compliment, she didn't mean like, oh, she's a princess. Like, as in she's a princess. She meant like, bitch, you want people to wait on you like you're a princess or something? That's where that was coming from. So, Sai, stop it. But the difference is, I feel like Sai would check it in the moment. She don't have no problem saying, what you mean? You know what I'm saying? So I think Aaron and Jessel both kind of suffer from the same thing because they be misunderstanding for no reason, like, or offended, or both. Jessel apologizes to this lady. She finally clicks to her, like, just say sorry and leave it at that because she's going to be in her feelings if I don't. So she did. And I guess all is good. Not really, because Aaron went to go get some wine and she act like it was just so nasty. It's just rancid. See, if the wine is rancid, and it could happen, why are you blaming Jessel? Take it back over to those catering people that brought. Do you think she brought the wine? Probably not. You know what I'm saying? It was on the list of things that came with the people. If the wine is bad, take it back to the lady that you got it from and be like, this wine is bad. Is there any way I can get another? No. She want to go back to the girls. And on top of that, this wine is disgusting. Says the person with Pringles and caviar at her event. Anyway, child, she's having an engagement party next week. I don't know. There was food at Jessel's party. There was food at Sai's party. There was food at Jessel's party. She's having an engagement party. It looked like it's an event. So hopefully there's a caterer there because we know she doesn't do good with food. So yeah, that's where we're at. Real Housewives of New York. Don't forget to like this video, subscribe to my channel, and we'll see what this party is doing next week, y'all. Bye.